Do you know what? Second place never tasted so good. Honestly, you know what? With this young team, with Frank Lampard at the helm, second place. 5 points behind Liverpool, 1 point ahead of Man City. It's so great. It just feels right, It just feels marvellous. It honestly feels like I've got my Chelsea back after all these months of turmoil and just turbulence. It just feels like I've got my Chelsea back after all. And it just feels amazing. It just feels amazing. What is up, lads? It's CM9 here, and Chelsea have got a 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace in the Premier League today at 12:30. Funny I should mention 12:30 because I got caught off guard this afternoon. I honestly thought today's game was going to start at 3 o'clock, but no, apparently it was starting at 12:30. It was the early kickoff, and I had absolutely no idea. I literally had the kickoff scheduled in my calendar for 3 o'clock, but sometimes the times like to change when you get closer to the fixture, and I had no idea. I completely forgot to change the fixture. But anyway, today's game at Stamford Bridge. This win, of course, as I said in the earlier couple of minutes, this brings us into second place, 5 points behind Liverpool. And I think today's game was... The first half was very, very different to the second half. I think the second half we picked up. But let's just talk about the team. We went with a 4-2-3-1 today. Frank Lampard did. So we had Kepa in goal. Thank God. Alonso wasn't starting today. Thank God he wasn't. In our defence was Reece James at right back, Kurt Zouma, Fikayo Tomori and Emerson. So that was a perfect back four. N'Golo Kante started it ahead of Jorginho because Jorginho was suspended for the game. He got that yellow card against Watford. So this was to be the game that he would miss. I think he will be available for the game against Man City after the international break. So yeah, Kante played alongside Mateo Kovacic. And then front four, Willian, Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, and up front, Tammy Abraham. So let's chat about the first half, because the first half was a little bit frustrating, I thought, because... Okay, in Overwatch League terms, right, we were going for a dive meta, and Crystal Palace sat there with a bunker composition. So basically your Oruses, your Baptistes and your Bastions just sitting on the high ground. That's exactly what Crystal Palace did, but obviously this isn't Overwatch League, it's football. But this is just an analogy. But yeah, we were going for dive comp all the time, going with Pulisic, Abraham, Mason Mount, Willian. Willian was exceptional, by the way, got man of the match. And yeah, Tammy Abraham was a little bit isolated in the first half. And the reason I thought that was because we were missing Jorginho. Because when you think about Jorginho and you understand his role, you know that he allows us to create a lot of space in the middle and sort of finds that space. And he's always available. If you're playing around him, if you're in the team that you're playing around him, so if you're Willian, Mount or Kovacic, you'll know that he's the guy that tries to find it and makes himself available. So if you're in a bit of a tight spot, if somebody's putting pressure on you, he's over there with that space and you pass it to him and he has that space to just fizz a ball into the penalty box or plays the ball out wide. I thought we had a little bit of trouble today, and I don't know if that's because of the fact that Jorginho wasn't there or the fact that just overall in general, we struggle at home. If you notice, when we play away, we have this space all the time. Especially when we played against Watford and Burnley. We had all this space to manoeuvre. Compare this to, especially the earlier stages in the Ajax game and today. Like, we didn't really have this much space. And Crystal Palace, credit to them, in the first half, they defended stoutly. Defended really well. Well, especially if you've got a certain somebody in their back four who was a former Chelsea player back in his time. Absolute legend for the club. Gary Cahill. I thought Gary Cahill was alright for them. Honestly, he played a good game. I think he was partly the reason why Crystal Palace were so dominant in defence. The first half, as I said, it was all about knocking at the door. I think we only had if we go to the stats here, I've got the stats up right here. We had 23 shots in the entire game and Palace only had 3. So it just shows you the dominance that we had, not just in the second half, but the first half. Like, we're just completely knocking on their door all the time. And credit to Palace, defended pretty well. Second half was where we really turned the gears up. And first, I think it was the 52nd minute, Tammy Abraham opened the scoring with a fantastic little dink pass, like a little dink through ball pass by Willian. And then Abraham gets on the end of it, beats the man, and then he slots it into the bottom corner. Great finish. I mean, Tammy Abraham now is level on goals this season with Jamie Vardy. I think Vardy and Abraham are now both on 10 goals each now. So I mean, wow. I mean, Tammy Abraham proving himself all the time. I mean, yeah, he was a little bit quiet in the first half. Cause I guess that's because he didn't get that much service, or the fact that Palace were doing pretty well in the first half. But second half, like I said, turned the gears up and he got a goal. And, you know, it just goes to show you that if you wait patiently enough, then you will get the goals. And to be honest with you, we've got Frank Lampard, a very patient manager. Where did he actually learn all this patience from? A man that he played under many, many years ago. I'm sure you know him. Jose Mourinho. I just feel like Lampard has sort of picked up a little bit of what he used to learn when he played under Jose Mourinho. And I think that's what's been implemented into the way that Lampard goes about his business when it comes to putting formations out and playing the right players at the right time. And this team, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but this team was one of the youngest teams to actually play. I think it was the youngest team on average to play against Crystal Palace today. And well, a clean sheet as well, which makes it even better. So later on in the game, I think it was at 79 minutes, and this was at a time where Crystal Palace at 1-0, I was talking about bunker compositions earlier. They started to go dive. They started to go dive with their own sort of attack. Because they actually came out after they went 1-0 down, and then suddenly they started to click a little bit and started to create chances for themselves. But our defence was absolutely fantastic. Kurt Zouma, magnificent defender. I think he's picked up from earlier games where he was a little bit shaky, but now he's sort of like cemented himself. The same could be said for Tomori. Tomori and Zouma are the perfect centre-back partnership. Fikayo Tomori is developing so well, it's magnificent. Emerson, well, what can I say? Emerson over Alonso every day, every week, every month. I want to see Emerson play at left-back for the remainder of the season. Providing we get another left-back in January, if the transfer ban's lifted and Marcus Alonso, we pack his bags and we say goodbye to him, and then we bring in somebody like, I don't know, Chilwell from Leicester, and then we sort of like rotate those two at left-back. That would be fantastic. That would be really, really good. And Reece James at right-back, sorry. He played a very, very solid game as well, I thought. There were times where he sort of made one or two mistakes, but that doesn't really matter when you think that he actually played an overall solid game. So our defence was absolutely brilliant. Kante and Kovacic. I thought Kante... I don't know. It's very difficult to talk about Kante because Kante was good to hold on to the ball, but I don't know. I just feel that... See, it's very difficult to talk about Kante, especially when you think that he's trying to... He's not trying to fill in. That's the thing. I think all we got to say is Kante just does Kante things on the pitch. I thought he was excellent today. A little bit quiet in some parts of the game, but I thought, just, you know, when we had to rely on Kante to do Kante things, he does it well. Kovacic was good. He got a booking as well, actually. I thought Kovacic was okay getting the ball forward, finding great spaces, just doing what he has usually been doing in the last couple of games, just being the solid player that he has been. So Kovacic, really good game. Willian was fabulous. Willian was faultless. Got man of the match today. And, well, he was bloody everywhere. I think Willian has gotten to a stage in his career now where he knows that Hudson-Odoi is looking to turf him out of the team. He knows that he's going to be the long-term replacement for him later on. But Willian played like he really wanted to keep his place. He played like he wanted to make Hudson-Odoi work for his place. Willian had a fantastic game in the fact that he passed the ball great. He found a lot of good space. He had a massive numbers of chances to score. I think the number 10 suits him. I really do, because last season where he was wearing 22, he just had shaky, really off-putting performances. But today, he's put the number 10 on, and he really has actually shown Frank that he can actually get things done at certain times. I think he's really, really, really earned that place in the starting 11. Mason Mount was good as well. First half, he was a little bit quiet, but then second half he picked up. So Mason Mount was excellent today. Christian Pulisic. Let's just talk about Christian Pulisic. Captain America, got the second goal from a header. He sort of like dived in for the header and got the ball in the net. But Christian Pulisic, okay. Now, I don't know if you remember that little hole that Eden Hazard left when he went to Real Madrid. Christian Pulisic comes over with a bucket, some cement, and a cement mixer. And he's gone, there we go, just fill up that hole with a nice bit of cement, sand it off with a nice little sander if it goes a little bit dry. Perfect. That's what he's done. As soon as he's come here to the team, that's exactly what he's done. The fact that he's able to just weave in and out of defenses is great. Even in the first half, it looked like he was about to score. There was chances that he had as well, which he should have scored. Let's be honest. He should have got like maybe 2 goals today, because I think that Pulisic should have scored a goal in the first half to make it 1-0. But no, I thought Pulisic was excellent today. He's like I said, he's literally clogged up the hole that Eden Hazard has left superbly on that left-hand side. I would like to see Pulisic play in that starting 11. I think he's definitely cemented that place. I think it's on the other side with Willian and Hudson-Odoi is going to be a little bit of a headache for Frank Lampard, because both of them are actually, well, I would say they're both actually doing it, but Hudson-Odoi has got a fair bit to go. Willian is in his prime. I mean, you'd expect somebody like Willian to sort of actually do the stuff that he does. Sometimes he's just a little bit inconsistent, but Hudson-Odoi is in a time in his career now where he has to push himself a little bit further if he wants that place. That's what he's got to go ahead and do. And, well, Willian, like I said earlier, he just played excellently today. Got man of the match. Fantastic performance. Tammy Abraham. As I said earlier, Tammy Abraham was a bit quiet in the first half. I don't think he got that much service. And I think that goes with what I said earlier about the fact that we were missing Jorginho's knowledge of putting the ball into the penalty box. So sort of like that Fabregas to Costa, that Lampard to Drogba sort of communication. I thought we kind of like missed that. But yeah, Abraham was a little bit quiet, but he picked up in the second half and he got that goal, and it was a fantastic goal as well. And I think he said it in the interview, in the post-match interview as well, where he said first half they were quiet, Palace contained them with their pretty solid defending, but then second half they picked up and they went a little bit forward and got the goals that they needed. So yeah, I can't fault Tammy Abraham's performance today. Like I said, he's levelled on goals with Jamie Vardy at the top, and we're second now. We are second now. Depending on the way that the result goes tomorrow between Liverpool and Man City, I'm a little bit sport for choice what I want. Let's see now. Do we want Liverpool to win? Do we want a draw? Or do we want Man City to win to sort of make the top 3 a little bit closer? Do you know what? I honestly think maybe a draw would be ideal. But the thing is that if we get a draw, because of Man City's outstanding goal difference, we might get back into third. But no, do you know what? I honestly think maybe for the first time in utterly years, maybe we want Liverpool to win, just so that we could keep second place. I think that's what we kind of like need as Chelsea fans, with this young team, a side that we didn't really expect to be in this position. I mean, we were all, at the very beginning of the season, after losing 4-0 against Man United, we were like thinking, oh, well, it's going to be one of those pick-me-up seasons, these build-up seasons. We're not going to do very much, but we're going to hang in there. If you was to ask me, are we going to be second place after 12 games, I'd have laughed in your face. But here we are right now. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, I feel happy. I feel really pleased that we're in this situation. Again, like I said, I'm not going to expect too much. I'm not going to expect us winning the Premier League, because if we're too ambitious, we're going to get disappointed. I still believe this is a rebuilding season. I honestly think that, we're here now. We're second place. We've got to make the most of it. If we have a string of results somewhere that looks like that we're inexperienced, and we're going to build up from it. We're going to learn from these mistakes. Lampard is still a very young manager. He's still learning. This team is still learning. So we should really enjoy it for what it is, and let's hope that we can stay in and amongst the big guys. I would like that, especially with this very, very young side. Imagine what's going to happen later on in many years, where we still have the same amount of players playing for us. They're going to get loads of experience, and we're going to still be in amongst the big boys. And I'm happy. I feel happy. I feel like this club is going in the right direction. I really do believe that. So, yeah, 2-0 against Palace. I'm happy. I'm happy that Pulisic and Abraham are on the score sheet. And let's just keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. international break is next, so at least it's going to give me a little bit of a break from this channel. Well, that's if anything London Spitfire related comes up, then I'll have to talk about it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy today. Very, very happy. Congratulations. Yes, next game I do believe is against Manchester City. And that is away from home. Let's not get another 6-0. Please. I do not want to lose 6-0 again. Like we did last season. Like under Sarri when we had completely clueless performance and well, it ended up being 6-0. I do not want another one of those results. Please. Please. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Check out my social media links in the description down below. Make sure you let me know what you thought of the game in the comments section down below. Check out my gaming channel as well, Chris Marder Games. If you like gaming for any reason at all, you might want to go and check that channel out. Thank you very much for watching this video. Until the next one, I shall see you later. Hey do, and peace.